Hi, and welcome to our channel. 200 random funny facts. Wondered how many times you've walked around the world? Or where your smallest bone is? And what is a Jesus nut? Well, get your answers here, and so much more with these 200 random, fun facts that will actually make your life better. So pull up a chair, get comfortable and enjoy this awesome list of the top 200 most random and fun facts. J.K. Rowling chose the unusual name, Hermione, so young girls wouldn't be teased for being nerdy. The name Hermione came from Shakespeare's A Winter's Tale. Rowling says when she chose the name, she didn't want a lot of fairly hard-working little girls to be teased if ever the book was published. Hewlett-Packard's, also known as HP, name was decided in a coin toss in 1939. The name was always going to be a hyphenation of the two founders' last names, so in order to decide between Hewlett-Packard and Packard-Hewlett, they flipped a coin. There is a total of 1,710 steps in the Eiffel Tower. Standing 108 stories tall, there are 1,710 steps to get to the top of the Eiffel Tower. However, guests are only allowed to climb the stairs until the first platform. From there, they must take a lift to the top. The Pokémon Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan are based off of Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan. The third Pokémon of the Hitmons is also named after a martial artist. Hitmontop is named after a lesser-known martial artist, Larry Top. A woman tried to commit suicide by jumping off the Empire State Building. She jumped from the 86th floor but was blown back onto the 85th floor by a gust of wind. Standing almost 1,500 feet tall, there's no way anyone could survive that fall. However, when Elvita Adams tried to kill herself by jumping, a strong gust of wind blew her to the floor below. The worst injury she sustained was a fractured hip. Pirates wore earrings because they believed it improved their eyesight, along with many other reasons. Due to superstitions, they thought it protected them from bad eyesight, or even blindness, seasickness, and drowning. Los Angeles's full name is El Pueblo de Nuestra Señora la Reina de Los Angeles de Porciúncula. The original name was quite a mouthful. It translates to Town of Our Lady the Queen of Angels of the River Porciúncula. Now, Los Angeles is just the Angels. The Twitter bird actually has a name, Larry. The name comes from Larry Bird, who is a famous Hall of Fame basketball player. The species of Larry the bird still remains a secret. Octopuses have 4 pairs of arms. The 6 of an octopus tentacles serve as arms, while the other 2 are their legs. They use 6 tentacles just to eat. In the popular sitcom, Parks and Recreation, the writers had no idea Nick Offerman was a talented saxophone player when they wrote the Duke Silver plotline. Nick Offerman has played the saxophone his whole life, so when the writer wrote about his character being a secret jazz musician, the coincidence was perfect. It snowed in the Sahara Desert for 30 minutes on the 18th of February 1979. So far, this is the only known time in history that it snowed in the Sahara. Unsurprisingly, the snow melted away very quickly. Mike Tyson once offered a zoo attendant $10,000 to let him fight a gorilla. As it is, Tyson bribed a worker to open the zoo for just he and his wife to see the animals. While on this romantic stroll, he tried to also bribe a zookeeper to let him fight a gorilla. The zoo attendant said no. ABBA turned down $1 billion to do a reunion tour. In 2000, ABBA was offered $1 billion to reunite for 100 shows, which would have been $250 million per member. They turned it down because it wasn't for them. There has never been a verified snow leopard attack on a human being. Unlike many other big cats, snow leopards are not aggressive towards humans. They are very reclusive creatures, and even if they are disturbed, they are more likely to run away than to attack. The first alarm clock could only ring at 4 a.m. Invented in 1787, Levi Hutchins needed a way to wake up in time for work, so he made the alarm clock. It took almost 100 years for a wind-up alarm clock to be invented that could be set to any time. Birds don't urinate. Contrary to what most mammals do, birds convert nitrogen to uric acid. They get rid of this uric acid through the same place as they get rid all their other waste, their anus. Dyeing is illegal in the Houses of Parliaments. Strange as it is, this law is in place because anyone who dies in the Houses of Parliament is entitled to a state funeral. This has been voted as the most ridiculous law by the British citizens. The most venomous jellyfish in the world is the irukandji. While it's not the most deadly jellyfish, it is number 2. Even more shocking is that this tiny jellyfish is smaller than your fingernail. Its venom is 100 times more powerful than a cobra's. The 20th of March is Snowman Burning Day. This strange holiday was spawned by American and Swiss citizens to symbolize the end of the winter season. Queen Elizabeth can't sit on the Iron Throne from Game of Thrones. Queen Elizabeth visited the set of Game of Thrones, but because of an obscure rule, she wasn't allowed to sit on it. The ruling monarch can't sit on a foreign throne, even if it's fictional, apparently. There is official Wizard of New Zealand. In 1990, the Prime Minister of New Zealand appointed Ian Brackenbury-Channel, who was an old friend, as the Wizard of New Zealand. He is even given an annual stipend. An apple, potato, and onion all taste the same if you eat them with your nose plugged. Our sense of taste is 80% made up of our sense of smell. If you were to blindfold yourself and plug your nose, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between these 3 foods. Vincent van Gogh only sold 1 painting in his lifetime. Just a few months before his death, Van Gogh sold his painting, The Red Vineyard. It was sold in Brussels, Belgium for 400 francs. A company in Taiwan makes dinnerware out of wheat, so you can eat your plate. Not only do they make plates out of wheat, but spoons, bowls, and chopsticks as well. The dishes can be kept for months as long as they stay dry. The average person walks the equivalent of 5 times around the world in their lifetime. Assuming the average person lives until they're 80, they will walk about 110,000 miles in their lifetime. The circumference of the equator is 24,900 miles. Michael Jackson offered to make a Harry Potter musical, but J.K. Rowling rejected the idea. Rowling defended herself because she says she turned down a lot of adaptation opportunities, and Michael Jackson's just so happened to be one of them. The world record for stuffing drinking straws into your mouth at once is 459. Manoj Kumar Maharana, from India, broke the world record on the 28th of August 2017 for stuffing 459 drinking straws in his mouth at once. In order to break it, he had to keep them in his mouth for at least 10 seconds. Nutella was invented during World War II, when hazelnuts were mixed into chocolate to extend chocolate rations. In an effort to extend his chocolate rations during World War II, an Italian pastry maker mixed hazelnuts into chocolate. The final Nutella product was created by his son, who decided to perfect the recipe. In 2011, more than 1 in 3 divorce filings in the US contained the word Facebook. References to social networks are on the rise when it comes to divorce cases, as well as child custody cases. According to Genesis chapter 1 verse 20-22, the chicken came before the egg. Depending on your beliefs, these Genesis verses state that God created birds, not eggs that would hatch into birds. This includes chickens. Honeybees can get drunk on fermented tree sap. It affects bees in a similar way that alcohol affects humans, causing flying accidents and making it difficult to get back to the hive. Sober bees at the hive will attack the drunken bees to prevent them from entering the hive. Tears contain a natural painkiller which reduces pain and improves your mood. It's actually an endorphin, which is why you can tend to feel better after a good cry. So next time you feel the need to break down, don't be shy. Squirrels forget where they hide about half of their nuts. While not all squirrels bury their nuts, the ones that do only recover around 26% of their nuts. Millions of birds a year die from smashing into windows in the US alone. The actual number is somewhere between 365 million and 988 million. While the exact number of the bird population is uncertain, this comes out to about 2 to 10% of birds in the United States. Dolly Parton lost in a Dolly Parton lookalike contest. Dolly Parton entered a Dolly Parton-themed drag queen contest, did her hair and makeup more dramatically, and not only lost, but received the least applause. George W. Bush was once a cheerleader. Bush was a cheerleader in high school, and continued to be one while he attended Yale. In high school, he was even promoted to head cheerleader. In total, there are 205 bones in the skeleton of a horse. Even though they are much greater in size to humans, we have 206, horses have just about the same number of bones in their skeleton as we do. Coca-Cola owns all website URLs that can be read as R, all the way up to 62 H's. A 2013 digital campaign by Coca-Cola spurred the company to purchase all 62 URLs. Each year there are more than 40,000 toilet-related injuries in the United States. Some of these make sense, like a child of infant falling in. Others are attributed to toilet seats falling down, or complications due to bowel movements. Strawberries can be red, yellow, green or white. This of course refers to the different maturity stages of a strawberry. Before it's ripe and red, it will be green. Yellow strawberries are a different type altogether, called alpine strawberries. Mewtwo is a clone of the Pokémon Mew, yet it comes before Mew in the Pokédex. Because Mewtwo was in the Pokémon game, but Mew was only acquired through events at the time, Mewtwo was given the number 150, while Mew is number 151. 4 people lived in a home for 6 months infested with about 2,000 brown recluse spiders, but none of them were harmed. While the brown recluse is one of 3 spiders in North America with venom that requires medical treatment, they are hardly ever aggressive. Madonna suffers from brontophobia, which is the fear of thunder. This scary-sounding word isn't so complicated, it's the fear of thunder. Madonna is so scared of it that she has been known to frequently check weather reports before shows. The fear of thunder is also known as astrophobia, astropophobia, coronaphobia or tonitrophobia. In June 2017, the Facebook community reached 2 billion active users. Meaning, more than a quarter of the world's population uses this popular social media outlet. Samuel L. Jackson requested a purple lightsaber in Star Wars in order for him to accept the part as Mace Windu. Jackson wanted to be able to find himself on screen in big fight scenes, so he managed to get George Lucas to approve his request and grant him with a purple lightsaber. Parascarvodecatriophobia is the fear of Friday the 13th. A few famous people are stricken with this absurd phobia, such as Franklin Roosevelt, and surprisingly enough, Stephen King. Kleenex tissues were originally used as filters in gas masks. They were originally being developed as crepe paper and used for gas mask filters. The actual Kleenex product we know of today evolved from that by accident. In 1998, Sony accidentally sold 700,000 camcorders that had the technology to see through people's clothes. These cameras had special lenses that use infrared light meant to be used as night vision, but it also allowed you to see through some types of clothing. During your lifetime, you will spend around 38 days brushing your teeth. This equals out to about 35.5 days in total. At about 2 minutes per day, this equates to 0.1% of your life. Ronald McDonald is Donald McDonald in Japan because it makes pronunciation easier for the Japanese. Ever since the first McDonald's opened in Japan in 1971, the mascot has been called Donald McDonald. Often, Japanese people are surprised to learn he has a different name everywhere else. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great day. Goodbye.